All right, is everybody ready?
Sure.
Yes.
All right, we're going to call the regular board meeting to order.
Thank you, Mr. President. I recommend approval of the agenda as presented.
Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I so move.
All right, do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Mr. President, I'll make one point of order since we are doing a blended format. Just for the benefit of the audience, every vote tonight will be a roll call vote since we have some members who are joining virtually.
All right, with the roll call vote, when I call your name, please answer yes or no. Dr. Davis?
Yes.
Dr. Rudolph?
Yes.
Mr. Southern?
Yes.
Mr. Wood?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. All right, the motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no correspondence to report tonight. And we now move on to Roman numeral 1 under business action items. For the consent agenda, the board has been furnished with background material on each item or has discussed the item at a previous meeting. Consent agenda items will be acted upon with one vote without discussion. If a board member wants to discuss any item, it will be pulled from the consent agenda and voted on separately. Does a board member wish to pull any item from the consent agenda? Hearing none, Mr. President, I recommend approval of the consent agenda as presented.
Do I have a motion?
Mr. President, I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Is there any discussion? No discussion, so we're going to go to a roll call vote. Vote yes or no when I call your name. Dr. Davis?
Yes.
Dr. Rudolph?
Yes.
Mr. Southern?
Yes.
Mr. Wood?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. The motion is passed.
Thank you, Mr. President. At this time, I recommend the board approve the attached personnel report as presented.
Do I have a motion to approve the personnel report as presented?
Mr. President, I propose that we do approve the personnel report as presented.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Is there any discussion? No discussion. We'll go to a roll call vote. Dr. Davis?
Yes.
Dr. Rudolph?
Yes.
Mr. Southern?
Yes.
Mr. Wood?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. The personnel report is approved.
Thank you, Mr. President. For the benefit of the audience, I will read the personnel report as just approved under Roman numeral 1, resignation. Desiree Knight, system-wide paraprofessional, assigned to Webster. That's effective immediately. Under employment, Ladidra McCauley, teacher, kindergarten at Howell Graves Preschool. Teresa Toller, system-wide C&P assistant, assigned to Muscle Shoals High School. Under other contracts and employment or supplemental assignments, Sarah Wallace, part-time Spanish instruction at Highland Park for 6 hours per week, no benefits, to be paid from PTO funds. That'll be for the coming school year through December the 18th. Jolene Fretwell, an extra block of health science instruction per semester for a total of 8 blocks due to student enrollment for the coming year. Joel C. Rutherford, an extra block of welding instruction per semester for a total of 8 blocks due to student enrollment for the coming year. Kelly Word, a $1,500 stipend for additional administrative nursing responsibilities and assisting and advising our administrative team on reopening our schools in response to COVID-19. This will be paid from the CARES Act fund if approved. If not, it'll be paid from the general fund. Jennifer Williams, volunteer track coach for the 2021 season. James Jones, temporary as needed seasonal groundskeeper, part-time, not to exceed 29 hours per week, $15 per hour, no benefits. That's effective today. Under community education and extended day, we have 9 student aides that we're going to employ from August 10th to December the 17th. Those individuals are Mariema Box, Chase McDonald, Catherine Smallwood, Kiara Goodlow, Chaston Mitchell, Lily Holt, Katie Morrow, Anna Jeffries, and Kennedy Pace. And then the last item was the activity and athletic supplement schedules for 2020-2021. You all had approved those positions at the June meeting, and now we have approved the individuals who will fill those spots. And Mr. President, at this time, I will turn it back over to you for item C.
Thank you, Dr. Holden. Board members, you have been supplied with an amended version of the superintendent's contract for consideration of approval. Dr. Holden and I have discussed a small tweak in the language under the section on health and benefits that will be at no additional cost to the board. Board Attorney Taylor Brooks has reworked the contract with the minor change. Again, this change is not in addition of cost to the board. Do I have a motion to approve the amended superintendent's contract as presented?
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve this amended superintendent contract.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Is there any discussion? All right, no discussion. I will now call for a recorded vote. When I call your name, please answer yes or no. Dr. Davis,
Yes.
Dr. Rudolph,
Yes.
Mr. Southern,
Yes.
Mr. Wood,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. So the amendment passes.
Thank you, Mr. President. Moving on to item D, we have a policy action to take, and this will be untabling a policy that we tabled back on July the 1st. I have recommended approval of the changes to temporarily amend board policy 7.8.4. That's our virtual school option for the coming year. You all tabled that at the July 1st special meeting. Information has been disseminated to our stakeholders, and we've received no feedback. So at this time, Mr. President, we already have a recommendation and a motion and a second. You will ask for a motion to remove the recommendation from the table.
All right, do I have a motion to remove board policy 7.8.4 virtual program option from the table?
Mr. President, I make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, we will call for a vote. It'll be a roll call vote. Please answer yes or no. Dr. Rudolph,
Yes.
Dr. Davis,
Yes.
Mr. Southern,
Yes.
Mr. Wood,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. The motion carries with the 5 yes votes.
All right. Thank you, Mr. President.
I'm sorry. So it's on the table. We vote to approve it.
What you did, you voted to remove it from the table. So now you've got to vote to approve the revised policy, and you already have a motion and a second for that. So you can
So
just
we do another roll call vote. All right, so we're going to do a roll call vote. Dr. Rudolph,
Yes.
Dr. Davis,
Yes.
Mr. Southern,
Yes.
Mr. Wood,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. So it's been removed from the table.
and approved.
And approved.
Approved. There you go. That's always tricky doing that. Last thing I have, Mr. President, under superintendent's report, I've already said this, and I'll echo it one more time, how appreciative I am to everyone who's been so supportive as we've tried to put together our plans for reopening schools in these very difficult times. Going to be a lot more planning, a lot more discussing in the days ahead. So we do covet your prayers and look forward to getting our kids back in school as safely as we know how. I do want to congratulate Courtney Akins, our middle school guidance counselor. I don't know if you guys saw in the news over the weekend, but she has been announced as a finalist for Shows Woman of the Year. And it's very exciting for her. She's very passionate about children with special needs and was very involved in getting the Miracle Field built at Gatman. And just a very deserving honor for her. We wish her the very best in the coming days. I don't know when that'll be announced officially. I'm sure it'll be soon, maybe in the next month or so. but we wish Ms. Akins the very best in that process and congratulate her. And with that, Mr. President, that's all I have.
All right, do I have a motion for adjournment of the meeting?
Mr. President, I make a, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Marilyn.
Oh, Mr. President, I make a motion that we adjourn.
Do I have a second?
I second.
And a roll call vote. Dr. Davis,
Yes.
Dr. Rudolph,
Yes.
Mr. Southern,
Yes.
Mr. Wood,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.